Hello everyone, my name is Elena and this is Look Up channel. Today we will talk about what is happening in the Russian army, which shoots its own people in the back and cannot control military operations on the territory of the Russian Federation. An officer of the Russian army who called himself the commander of the 72nd Brigade said that he was intoxicated and fired at the vehicle of the Wagner because of personal enmity. The video was the answer of Prigozhin's press service to the question about who mined the exit routes from the mercenaries from Bakhmut. The head of the private military company previously claimed that this was done by the Russian military on the orders of the Ministry of Defense. Yevgeny Prigozhin claimed that fighters of the Russian regular forces mined the roads in the rear of the Wagner. Later, the mercenaries tried to defuse the explosive devices, but they started shooting in their direction. The event could have taken place on May 17 when representatives of the Wagner recorded a group of soldiers of the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation, who for reasons unknown to them were mining roads in the rear. When trying to demine landmines and anti-tank mines, the troops allegedly tried to eliminate representatives of the private campaign. As a result of the incident, the car Ural belonging to Wagner was damaged. The engine of a military truck broke. Prigozhin said that the Russian military fired on the Wagner mercenaries. The mercenaries captured the officer colonel of the Russian Federation. Prigozhin published a report in which he claims that on May 17 the Wagner criminals were fired upon by Russian military personnel when the militiants tried to clear the road of mines. The war started by Russia against Ukraine has already moved to Russian territory. Russian volunteers fighting on the Ukrainian side first carried out regular raids on the border territory of the Russian Federation, receiving valuable intelligence information, and then began to occupy Russian settlements. This month, residents of the border settlements of the Belgorod region, Shebekina, Nova Tavolzhanka, Murom, are especially nervous. A Russian volunteer corps with tanks entered the Shebekina district and claimed that the Russian regular army did not control the settlement. There are battles in the suburbs of the Shebekina. In Nova Tavolzhanka, Russian volunteers managed to capture 2 soldiers of the Russian regular army. On June 3, the fighters of the Legion Freedom of Russia and the Russian Volunteer Corps offered residents of the border settlements of the Belgorod region to evacuate to Ukraine, as there are clashes with the Russian army in the area and the Russian military is randomly shelling their own settlements. This night, with the use of drones, the Legion group destroyed 2 tanks. Publicly, senior US officials have condemned the strikes inside Russia, warning of the potential for an escalation of the war. But speaking privately to CNN, US and Western officials said that they believe the cross-border attacks are a smart military strategy that could divert Russian resources to protecting its own territory as Ukraine gears up for a major counteroffensive. The only problem for Ukraine's Western allies is the use of the provided weapons on the territory of the Russian Federation. First of all, these weapons were provided for the protection of Ukraine from the invasion, but not for the military operations outside Ukraine. Secondly, the Western partners do not know what may be happening in Russia and are afraid that these weapons may end up in the hands of the Russian army. Today, Belgian Prime Minister Alexander De Croo ordered an investigation into whether the weapons that Brussels sent to help Kyiv to protect the territory of Ukraine were used in hostilities abroad. He also confirmed that Belgium will contact Ukraine for clarification regarding information that Belgian-made rifles could have been used by pro-Ukrainian forces to fight Russian troops on the western border of the Russian Federation. Ukrainian intelligence said that questions about the use of foreign-made weapons on the territory of the Russian Federation should be asked of the Russian Volunteer Corps and the Legion of Freedom of Russia. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video and see you tomorrow.